Well, again, we're going to start. I know most people, but I want to get to know everybody. So anytime we get a break today, you make sure you meet some new folks. And these people might be a little bit new to some of us in Southeast Missouri, but maybe not. This is Joyce Rainwater, my immediate supervisor here in Southeast Missouri. Dr. Turia Eaton, who runs our program, the horticulture program at Lincoln University. And so I'm going to let them welcome you, and then we'll get started with our meeting.
First off, thank you for coming. I know that, for farmers, spending a day away from the farm is not often an easy thing to do. Hopefully this will be a valuable use of your time. We sure think it is. Just a couple housekeeping issues before we get started. This is the folder that we gave you at registration. If you didn't get one, just go out to the front and get one. I think Mike caught most of you. But inside is the program, the schedule for the day, and then some information about each of the presenters, and then all the PowerPoints for each of the presenters that submitted one or are going to use one is also in the folder. Some people have made a few changes, but the content is basically the same. That on the right side of the folder is the evaluation. This is especially helpful for us. So if you have to leave early or for any reason, go ahead and fill it out to whatever point you stayed to and put it on the front table for me. And especially on the back, suggestions for future topics or suggestions to better improve this conference is always welcome. We're always looking for programming to benefit the farmers in the area, so if you could do that for me, that would be great. I also included the next program, which is next Wednesday, that Lindsay, who's back in the corner. She's our food safety specialist as well as an area educator in the Jackson, Missouri area. And she's going to put on a food safety question and answer session next Wednesday morning. So if you're available and you'd like to learn more about the food safety regulations that are rolling out, we'd love to have you. Just get in contact with Lindsay sometime throughout the day. There's a couple more information, and then there's a sheet at the back that has all the area educators' contact information. If you don't have somebody you're working with already, please contact one of us. We'd love to come out, do a farm visit, get to know you and your farm and see how we can help. That's what we're here for. Bathrooms are just down the hall by the front doors where you came in. Pretty relaxed, so if you have a question, please raise your hand and stop us so we can address it then. Lots of food out there, guys, so help yourself, and lunch should be as good as breakfast, if not better. So hopefully you enjoy, and I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Eaton.
Thank you, Joyce. Well, thank you all for coming. We thank our farmers. Without you, actually, we would not be here. This event is being possible by grants from NRCS, Office of Advocacy and Outreach, and Missouri Department of Agriculture. So we thank them for their generosity. And we thank our partners from Farm Service Agency and from Rural Development as well. We encourage everybody, please, to subscribe to Missouri Vegetable Grower Association. Among all the states, our association really is the weakest. There is not a lot of enrollment, and we need to grow it because if we do not know what the needs of our farmers, we will not be able to help them as well. And we have a raffle today. So we have 6 gifts. This is gift number 6, is the Midwest Vegetable Guide for Commercial Growers. There is a lot of nice information in it. Gift 5, the same thing. Gift 4, the same thing. Gift 3 is a soil probe, and it is really very important for every single farmer to have one of these to do soil test. Do not skip this step. You need to fertilize, and to fertilize you need to know how much nutrients are in the soil first. And then number 2 is $20 cash, and number 1 is $50 cash. So be careful, guys, because Richard and Joyce, they put their names on the raffle too. So make sure that we would not get this. So I thank the team of the Lincoln University Horticulture Program for working very hard to put this event together. Joyce, Rainwater, Richard Rickman, Lindsay Pender, Mike Crowden is somewhere, and Nancy Smith. So thank you guys for doing all this work. And let's start. Thank you.
Our first speaker is Miranda Dushak. She's a small farm specialist out of St. Louis County. She works for the Innovative Small Farms Program with Lincoln. She also is the co-owner of Urban Buds City-Grown Flowers. And if you have any questions about beekeeping, that is something she's very passionate about as well. And these are her lovely flowers from her farm in the heart of St. Louis.
Hello, Sikeston! Good morning. Should I just put those right, how about just right in the middle, just right there. No, I'll put them to the side. Good morning. Oh my gosh, I am so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me down and for you coming out and taking time out of your day to be with us. And I'm really, really happy to open the program. Joyce, thank you for having me. This is what I don't know, when did we start this conference? Does anyone remember? No, 2011, I think, was the first time. Was it 2011? The first time we had the Missouri Minority and Limited Resource Conference, and now we're in 2018. Time flies when you're having fun. Okay. Nope. What's going on here? Help. Where's my photos?
I don't know.
Photos. There they are. You want to pull it up from your PowerPoint? Well, my topic is about marketing, connecting with your customer. And that's really key. We had some really great quotes up here about the importance of farming. And it is a great pursuit, isn't it? But the way to continue doing it is being able to sell your product and earn a living from it. So that is my topic. Kind of a lot of photos, we sort of want it to be visual here. So I work for Lincoln, I'm here in two capacities. My first one is with Lincoln University Cooperative Extension. I've been with Lincoln 7.5 years. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. I'm in St. Louis City, and my focus is now primarily on urban farming. But I do work with rural folks as well. And then in my private life, I have an urban cut flower farm. So I have 1 acre in South St. Louis City. Coming out of our high tunnel, or our heated greenhouse, we have a new heated greenhouse, our freesia. These are beautiful, fragrant flower, an early spring flower. They come out of bulbs planted in September, October, November. We do succession planting. We heat our greenhouse minimally to 55 degrees. This was the first year we put up this new greenhouse, and it was the worst winter in 10 years. But we did it. We paid that natural gas bill. And we've been cutting since January 1st. This is the first year we hit Valentine's Day, which with cut flowers is really important, right? But now we're sliding on into Easter, which we're very, very excited about. And kind of the first weddings are starting. We have our first wedding this weekend. So freesia will be prominently used in that wedding. It's a fragrant flower. We have to grow flowers that are unusual and don't ship well, and freesia is one of those. You know, to ship, they bred out the fragrance, right? They bred fragrance out of flowers so that they'll last longer in the shipping process. So we grow flowers that have fragrance and don't ship well. Yes?
I would just like to give a hand to the technician.
Yay! There we go. Can we cut the lights in this front row too?
Yes.
Thank you, Andrew and Joyce. Lincoln University's finest. Can we get a show of hands of who's here from Lincoln University? We have Felicia and Tiara and Dr. Eaton and Lindsay and Joyce and Andrew, Miranda and Richard. Okay, great. Okay, so marketing, connecting with your customer. This is me. This is our last farmers market of the season at Urban Buds. So this is the weekend before Thanksgiving. And what are we showing here? Flowers. We still have flowers coming out of the high tunnel. We have ornamental cabbage. Beautiful, beautiful. Ginger root. I grow ginger, and then this is turmeric. If people are familiar with turmeric and ginger. If anyone's not familiar with turmeric and ginger, they're both culinary and medicinal. You could sort of call them an herb, but they're roots. People use them for spice, but they also have anti-inflammatory properties. So we grow ginger and turmeric for the health nuts in the world. And people just like it. You know, now it's so mainstream. Turmeric isn't even really that like out there anymore. So again, Lincoln University and Urban Buds, city-grown flowers. So this is our farm here in St. Louis City. This is a winter pick, high tunnel, heated greenhouse, caterpillar tunnels. We do a lot of season extension. We're getting into using these tarps over our permanent raised beds. Has this all hit Southeast Missouri yet? It's kind of the big thing, right, for to keep soil down over the winter. If you till or plant your permanent raised beds, you put tarps on them. But we're cheap. We don't buy those silage tarps. We can't afford that. So we just called someone with billboards, old billboards, and got those, right, for free. All we do is give her a little bit of flowers every now and again. And then that covers those permanent raised beds, right? So we can get in them earlier in the spring. Also helps with weed control. This is kind of our back area. Joyce said the bee yard here. I am a beekeeper of 10 plus years. And then here's a little new lot we bought. So we have an acre of land in the city. We started in 2012. Now it's 2018. We sell direct to direct to florists during the week. We don't really consider it wholesale. We've stopped calling it wholesale, right? Wholesale to me implies the lowest price point you're gonna get. You sell wholesale, it's like you're doing a farm to school program, or you're doing, you know, you're getting terminal pricing, you know what I mean? So we now call it direct to vendor, direct to retail. You sell it directly to the florist, and we price our things slightly above the wholesale price, right? Because it was harvested the day before you get it. It's fragrant, it's organic, not certified. We pay our people a fair wage in St. Louis City. We'll talk about that a little bit more. So and then we do farmers market, right, on Saturdays, and then we do weddings and events. We also do tours and workshops, and we'll cover all of these about marketing. The whole goal is to support our family by farming. So, I guess this was the old presentation, right, Joyce? Because there wasn't a picture of me in August, but that's all right. So before you plant a seed, we always say before you plant any seed, know where you're going to sell it, right? We are farmers and we love it, but we are business people. And we have to sell that product. So before we do anything, we have to know where we're going to sell our products. And how do we determine where we are going to sell our products? It's through knowing ourselves, right? We do a SWOT analysis. Recommend everyone to do a SWOT analysis before they start their business plan, right? When you go into your farm, you have to have a business plan, but what is the foundation of that business plan? And for us, we start with a SWOT analysis, where you write down your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Okay? Just write them down and write everything you could think of. You know, what would be a strength? Oh, I'm a fabulous grower. Okay, my wife, Nima Davis, has been growing flowers for 25 years. I guess this PowerPoint didn't have the photos of her, but that's her, Nima Davis. That's me, Miranda Duchek. We are urban buds, right? So she's been growing flowers for 25 years. I looked at my calendar recently. I've been growing for almost 20, if you could believe it. Not flowers, but I've done poultry, I've done this and that and whatever. I've been into the flowers since 2012. But hey, that's a strength. What else is a strength? Our personalities are a strength. Being in the city is a strength. What's our weakness? Right? Do you know your weaknesses? I know our weaknesses. They'll be on the next slide. How about opportunities? Hey, farm to table's hot. Is it hot in Southeast Missouri? I don't know. You tell me. But there are opportunities out there to make money. Agritourism, is that an opportunity for you? It might be. What about connecting with Southeast Missouri? Right? Is there a way to connect with them? I think that would be a huge opportunity. And what's a threat? Ooh, for us, what's my threat? I'll tell you what my threat is. It's always competition. I have issues with competition. I need to go to therapy to deal with my issues with competition. I have feelings about competition. So then part of that, my own threat, is my mindset, right? Because you dig a little deeper into your competition and you realize, hey, we got this. Urban Buds got this. We have this. We can do this. We are strong, right? But my brain in the middle of the night, ooh, I get worried. So write down your SWOT analysis. Okay, so here we go. After our SWOT analysis, we decided we have advanced growing skills. Bam, we're hardworking. Yeah, people skills. Great location. We're 2.5 miles from our farmer's market in the city of St. Louis. I think that's great. Now some people might say, maybe not a great location. We had a tour in from Webster Groves, a more affluent suburb of St. Louis. They were a little afraid of our neighborhood. Our neighborhood has a lot of crime, right? Red crime neighborhood, high crime. Okay, well, some people are maybe afraid to come to it. For us, we said, great location. We're working in the community. We're doing good things, you know? A committed farming partner. Man, I sure did not want to start farming without a committed farming partner. Now, it makes it hard now, doesn't it? We live together, we work together, we're raising a son together. Man, that's a lot of togetherness. Ooh, that's a lot of togetherness. But I knew I couldn't be a successful farmer without that committed farming partner at my side. We, because we're farmer florists, we need to have an eye for design. You know, we're designing the flowers. We are farmer florists. We grow what we design. We have to follow the trends and be hip. And then farm infrastructure, that glass greenhouse, those other greenhouses, the land. That's what we know. But in progress, ooh, technology is hard for us. QuickBooks, man alive. I have some hard time with QuickBooks sometimes. We now have our accountant on retainer. And I call her up. And I say, how do I print the pay stubs for Morgan, our one employee? You know, I mean, I am bad, y'all. It's really bad. Delegation of tasks. Ooh, that can be hard. And then we go with communication with employee and farming partner. Committed farming partner strength, communication. Kind of hard. For those of you who do have a farming partner, you can have facilitated discussions with them. You can have a counselor or a therapist. That can be a business expense to help you deal with how you're going to constantly communicate about what you're doing with the business. So do your SWOT analysis. Out of our SWOT analysis, we know what we can do well. We can do farmers market. I love people. I remember things about people. Farmers market's great. Direct to florist. Nima really likes doing direct to florist. She likes driving that truck around. When you're at farmers market, you have to remember 100 people a week, right? You have to remember their names. their preferences, their favorite colors. If they have a cat that eats lilies and may die, you know? I put a lot of energy into my farmer's market customers. Oh, hey, Frank, how's your granddaughter? Okay, it's not Maisie like crazy, it's Mazzy like jazzy. How's your granddaughter, Mazzy? You know, that's me at farmer's market. I worked at farmer's market, man. But direct to florist, hey, you just have to deal with the buyer, maybe the owner. Less people. If you don't like people at all, sell wholesale, right? Just sell it, off you go. We know we like wedding and event design. We like speaking engagements and workshops. These parts, we're developing this more. Getting money from this. Tours and grants. Okay, we do a lot of grants. We've done a lot of grants. In 5 years, we've done $62,000 in grants. That's a lot of work. I gotta tell ya, right? But the way we do Urban Buds is no mortgage, no operating loan, no construction loan. It is bootstrapped. So therefore, I'm going to be applying for grants. Here's our wedding and event design. Isn't that beautiful? Katie, beautiful bride, gorgeous. Everything grown on the farm right here. Dahlias. Dahlias are hot right now. Got to follow the trends, right? What's hot in vegetables?
Kale.
Kale.
Avocado.
Avocados are hot. Get a geothermal greenhouse and go for it. You know? Microgreens. Microgreens are hot in St. Louis. Every time I turn around, someone else is growing microgreens. Like, how many microgreens can people grow? Well, the answer is a lot. Herbs. Herbs remain hot. Edible flowers. People are always calling us for edible flowers. We don't grow edible flowers. Right now we have stock growing, which is an edible flower, so I did sell it to a chef. You know, but all that's hot, right? Honey continues to sell. Honey, 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 honey. Who has honey? Who has more honey? Do you have honey? I get asked all the time, where's your honey? Do you have more honey? Ginger, turmeric, they're still hot. Berries. Berries. Anything that's hard to grow. Berries. A fruit CSA. I'm working with one of my clients in St. Louis City. She wants a fruit CSA. Now this is a long-term plan for her. She can do it. She won't irrigate, y'all. I have a client I've been working with for 5 years and she won't irrigate. How is she ever going to get a fruit CSA? I don't know, but man, she's fruit CSA. You know, do it. These things are hot. Okay. Here's one of our wedding works. Aren't they beautiful? These are the this gives us so joy. This is what flowers bring. So, you know, let's step back and talk about connecting with your customer. Okay? Who here sells at a farmer's market? Okay, great, great. Got some farmers market people. Who sells direct to a grocery store? Who sells to like grocery stores? Anyone doing grocery stores? Anyone doing a CSA? Running a CSA? No. Okay. So mainly farmers market is how people sell. Okay. Pardon? The back of her truck. We take out our truck. Drive around those floors, knock, knock, knock. Hey, we're here. You want to buy some freesia? You want to buy $20 worth of freesia? Hey, we'll still take the truck out. Okay, well, the way that you get people to know who you are and to buy your product versus that other person's product at the farmer's market, although you may have similar products, it starts with your branding. You know, you have to think about your farm and your branding. People are so disconnected from the reality of farming, right? That your job is to get them to buy into your story of farming, right? You want that they come to farmers market, they buy direct from farmers because they want to be a part of agriculture without actually ever doing it. Right? So your brand needs to sell that sort of fantasy with a tinge of reality, with authenticity. It needs to wrap everything into what you're trying to sell that person. You want to sell them that experience of being connected to the land. You're creating a positive image for yourself and your farming. You're expressing your mission. You're getting your name recognition out there. You know, look at these guys. They make their kids wear that. And it works. Right? Branding. Branding's really, really important. Look at this woman. She knew how to create a brand, didn't she? Who is this woman? Martha Stewart. And her brand was so strong, she was sitting in prison and making gobs of money. Gobs of money. This woman hangs out with Snoop Dogg. This woman was supposed to come to St. Louis Art and Bloom, right? Urban Buds, we think we're pretty cool. We tried to get flowers into her hands. We didn't even need to meet her. We just wanted her to design with our flowers for this Art and Bloom exhibit. No way. No, our Urban Buds couldn't even touch her, right? We had people write us letters of introduction, you know, people from the coast, people from, oh, I know Martha Stewart's marketing people, oh, all this kind of stuff. No call back, man. This woman's at the top. She is the top. And she's kind of Mima's personal hero. So we look at her, you know, what is your image? You are creating an image with your product consistency, with presenting yourself as a professional grower. Here's our logo. We start with the logo. We went through 3 graphic designers to get this logo. We paid 3 graphic designers to finally get to this logo. And this logo, we like a lot of things about it, right? Urban Buds, our brand, our zeitgeist is authenticity, right? And I think this kind of sums it up. We love the soil, we love each other, you know, there's so much strife in the world and so much racial strife in the world. We wanted to put it out there. Hey, we're working, we came together despite our disparate background, and we're having a successful business based on agriculture. We want to show that to the world. We want people to feel good about that. And then we had to add city-grown flowers. So we're Urban Buds, we're in the city, we got some bees here, Urban Buds, Urban Buds. What could be a problem with our name? There's 2 problems. What could be a problem with Urban Buds? Come on, we're all friends here.
Buds make people think of marijuana.
There you go. We're all thinking it. Or maybe just a few were thinking it. Sadly, we were not thinking it. We were not thinking of it when we incorporated our Urban Buds LLC. What's wrong with us? Right? We're like, oh, we're buds, we're in the city, we're urban. No, people still call us for weed. Right? We are very much on the radar. We are not growing. And then people are like, hey, what about your business plan? Do you think, you know, legalization, hey? It's like, no, man, we would need guys with Uzis in our neighborhood, okay? We are not growing weed. We're growing flowers. We're city-grown flowers. Urban Buds, city-grown flowers. What's the other, now this is a little less subtle, and I might just have to give it to you because you're not farmer florists, but we are, when a florist buys our freesia, right, they mark it up 3 to 5 times what we sell it to them for when they put it into a wedding. Think about that. 3 to 5 times. So we're thinking about value-added products. And what's a value-added product? Value-added product is wedding design, okay? But what kind of bride do we need? What type of couple do we need? We need a couple who will pay our prices, who will pay us for our time for this good work. And you know what? Those couples, we're getting couples who are spending $6,000 to maybe $2,000 on wedding flowers. We need people who are going to spend $2,000 to $5,000 on wedding flowers. Are they going to do that for people with a cartoon character? Maybe not, right? So this is something we're thinking of now. A lot of farms, and this is different maybe for you all, but just put it in your encyclopedia of knowledge. A lot of flower farms will have one logo for the farm business, and then a whole new social media, whole new website, whole new every single thing for the design piece to try to pitch that money. We're trying to do both with this one logo. We'll see how it goes. Okay, this is my honey logo. Urban Buzz. A subsidiary of Urban Buzz. So we kind of gave in a little bit to the like weed jokes. Right, Urban Buzz, you know, beautiful logo, beautiful. We ended up going with a graphic designer who did the previous logo and this logo. He does the buses for St. Louis City. He designs the artwork on St. Louis City buses. It's great. So your logo has to follow the legal requirements, your address, the amount that everything's in there, how to get a hold of you, all that kind of stuff, which the Food Safety Modernization Act forces you to do. But then make it beautiful. People love it. I think we're going to make shirts. That's our next thing, merch. We're working on merchandise this year. I'm a little reluctant because I don't necessarily want my face on shirts. Okay, so that's a little bit about branding. Okay, just a little bit about logo, but think about your logo, have a good logo, make sure it's printable, make sure it can transfer on a t-shirt, it can go on your website, it goes on your banner, it goes every single place you go. The little stickers, little packaging on your salad greens, your logo is everywhere. Okay, now we're moving into customer service. What is customer service? The dictionary says, the assistance and advice provided by a company to those people who buy its or use its products or services. Okay, we can do this. We can do this, right? We have to do this. That's how you sell your product, is having good customer service. So how do we do it? Because most of the people who sell at farmers market here, it's through conversation. Then quality products, understanding people's needs, responding to the needs, and making them happy. Right? When we ask customers why they buy from us, the first thing they say is that our flowers are fresh and they last long. The second thing they say is that they like what we're doing in the city. We communicate it with them. Hey, we pay a fair wage. We start our employees at $10 an hour. Woo! Woo! Even saying that just hurts me. $10 an hour. And right now we don't even have someone at $10 an hour. Right now, Morgan, we have one employee plus my wife and me. I don't get paid, right? And our one employee is making over 11. Ooh, hard, right? But we're in the city. We need someone quality. We need someone to stick with us, right? And then we put a part of our marketing. Hey, we pay the fair wage. Hey, we hire USers. Hey, we don't use migrant labor here. You know, this is part of what you're doing with buying Urban Buds flowers, right? So they like that, and you have to communicate it to them. But mostly, you have to make them happy. Here is this beautiful thing. Leave them with a smile. Always leaving them happy. When you go to a farmer's market, they don't want to hear about your complaints. You know, we have farmer's market rules, which we get to. But when they walk up, they want to see, you want to see a beautiful stand. It doesn't matter if it's flowers or vegetables. Beautiful, look at that. Walk on up. Come on in, enjoy. Hey, how you doing today? You know, our regulars, yeah, I talk to them about everything. How's the house remodel going? Blah, blah, blah. New people who are shy, yeah, just smile. Just come on up. No pressure to buy, just enjoy. You know, just check it out, right? You want to smell the ginger? Sure, here's this one piece of ginger. I let people smell because it's disgusting that they put it up to their mouth and then set it back down. You know, but do it. Have your little bit that you let them handle. Do it, invite them in. Come on in. We have 2 rows here. You see our setup? They can walk down both sides. It's just the, people say to us, this is the highlight of our week. Here's Mima, and then here's our one employee, Morgan, who does not like farmers market. We're hiring again. We're not talking about employees in this presentation, but I have some really advice about employees. Look at that, that's beautiful. And what a steal of a deal, $5 for a yellow peony, 1 stem. Oh, that should be 8. It would be at a florist. Peonies, $3 a stem, minimally. Charge for your product, y'all. You're worth it. And the way you get that money is by marketing. That's the only way, right? You sell them on your personality, you sell them on your vision, you sell them on the mission, and they want to give you money for that good quality product. Okay. How are you going to attract customers to your stand and close the sale? How do you spot an active shopper? Man, I love it when Kirsten comes. Hey, Kirsten, how was your week? Oh, great. I like that dress. What a cute bag you have. Oh, can I help you take those flowers? Oh, no, I like holding them. She is an active shopper. Look, she's looking in the lupins. You can't buy lupins from florists. They don't ship well. They're fragrant, they're beautiful, our customers go gaga over that. Right? Oh, lupins. Oh, yes. Right? She's an active shopper. You engage with her, you talk to her. Come on in. Are they touching your product? That's a little dicey at times, but you gotta let them, right? You gotta let them. You gotta let them touch your product. Are they asking you questions? Are they carrying that bag? You know, don't hide behind the table. Where's my slide? Well, I don't know if we're there yet. Are they asking you questions? You know, when you are at your farmer's market booth, right? You come in, you're dressed well, you're clean, your nails are scrubbed, you're wearing antiperspirant, right? Yeah, I hate to say it, but you know, we have some, yeah, right, okay, good. We're all in agreement on that one, right? We understand there's some hippie farmers in the world, but at farmer's market, you're wearing your antiperspirant. You're not smoking anywhere where anyone could ever see you smoke, right? Ever, certainly not in the booth, but nowhere where anyone can ever see you, right? Not for the entire, you get your nicotine gum. If you need to smoke during farmer's market, you chew your nicotine gum. You don't ever let them see you smoke. You don't eat in the booth. Never, ever, ever. No eating in the booth. No sitting down, ever. Right? These are our Urban Buds rules. Right? We never sit down. It doesn't matter. I was 8.5 months pregnant out there. It was 95 degrees up. People were like, Miranda, you gotta stop coming here. I'm like, no, it's fine. You don't sit down. You are up. You are engaged. You are standing up. Right? I try not to wear shirts with logos. Unless it's the Urban Buds logo, which we talked about. I'm a little bit shy about wearing a logo with my face on it. But, you know, right? No logos, just a plain shirt. I went to Goodwill in Sikeston. Came down here, drove down yesterday. I beelined it to the Goodwill. You have a good Goodwill, right? I picked up some plain cotton t-shirts. That's all I need, right? Okay, are you prepared? You know, is your product fresh, clean, ready for sales? Are you doing sampling? Now, I talked to Debbie Kelly in Hillsborough, runs a really good training on having samples at your farmer's market. And I think that, are you all at the same farmer's market or different farmer's markets? Like, do you all know each other from the farmer's market? No, okay. Well, I think that sampling should really be done at farmer's market by, like, someone part of the farmer's market, like, management team, you know, because proper sampling requires maintaining, like, correct temperatures and hand washing and all this kind of stuff. But sampling's really good, and Debbie tracked it. She had this grant to track if people got a sample of the farmer's product at farmer's market that day, they sold more. Makes perfect sense, right? So I would challenge you to petition your farmer's market to say, hey, can we have a sampling station? You know, it helps. Okay, pricing. Is your product priced fairly and competitively? Is your price list accurate and up to date? This one's terrifying for me, right? It got to the point where Mina said, Miranda, we're gonna take you out of the farmer's market booth. It's for a couple of weekends, and Morgan is gonna work it. And Morgan is a stickler. $1.50 a stem for freesia. No freebies, we're doing it. Right, because I've got you people as my friends, and you know, I grew up working class, not a lot of money, so I'm always like, oh, our stuff is priced too high, you know. So I would add in extra flowers for people, you know. Oh, I felt bad, like, oh, it seems too high. Don't do that. You stand by your prices, and if Mima or Morgan suspect that Miranda's giving, you know, Frank an extra flower or something like that, they'll pull me out. And then we notice the money's slightly higher when Miranda doesn't work the booth. Because Miranda's giving away freebies. Because Miranda has an internalized shame, right, about charging what it's worth. That's ridiculous. But hey, we all have stuff we need to deal with, right? So is it priced fairly and competitively? You know, yeah. If they went and bought our flowers direct from a florist, it would be more expensive. So we have to say to the florist, look, our customers only have 4.5 hours to buy our product. So it's a little bit lower. I don't know. Where do you get your price list from? How do you all determine your prices? How do you all determine your prices?
USDA market report.
USDA market report, okay, so like kind of like terminal price, would you say?
Right,
Like,
well, the retail.
The retail?
And then they've got the organic, if you are trying to do that, you know, different prices from around the country.
Yeah.
Sort of average it out.
good, that's some data.
I'm urban, so I have to go to the grocery store and find out what they're selling there for
Right.
and I undercut them.
No, you go to the grocery store and you charge more.
From,
Yes, where you're from. Yes.
I'm gonna do it. I've tried that.
You're from St. Louis?
East St. Louis.
East St. Louis, okay, yeah, you're in a,
Yeah.
yeah. But you're not gonna stay farming, that's the thing. That's where you gotta get, that's where the marketing comes in. Or the grants, or something. But you're gonna, it's not, you're not gonna make it. Your product is worth more than what's at the grocery store.
Oh, I know that's right. I know it,
Right?
for sure.
So this is when you go to your SWOT analysis, how do you manage that? How do you provide flowers or food to the community? And how do you also provide it to the rich people, you know, or the people who can pay your prices? That's what you have to figure out with your marketing streams,
Right.
right? But yeah, no, it should be higher than the grocery store prices. Anyone else? Thoughts? We get the wholesale price list from from the floral wholesale, and then just add on a few. It has to be higher. And that's how marketing gets you those prices. Okay, is your display neat, accessible, and attractive? Are prices clearly marked? Is the name of your farm displayed on boxes, banners, and signs? Put it everywhere. And you know, Miss, when people say to me when they walk and they see our prices and they say, I'll just buy my flowers at Schnucks. Let them go.
Well, I do.
Yeah, you just gotta, I'm like, Schnucks is high. Yeah. Okay, supplies. Do you have plenty of shopping bags, enough cash to make change? Is your scale in good working order and certified? Your scale certified by the Missouri or Illinois Department of Agriculture? Better be. Are farm pamphlets and recipes available? Have all those materials to hand out. You know, we just called someone to help us with marketing. Ooh, a professional. Scary. Do we have money to pay for her? I don't know. But, you know, her thing was get to all different types of people. People who are on social media and people who aren't. You know, so at pamphlets, some people like newsletters. Some people can just do Instagram. I just like Instagram, you know. Facebook, what's happening with Facebook? I was never on Facebook personally. I never had a personal Facebook account. And now I'm really glad I never did, right? Of course Facebook is brainwashing you. But people still use it. Your customers use it. And particularly the older generation use it. The young folks aren't using it hardly anymore. You know? They're on Instagram. They're on Snapchat. Can you monetize that? Can you monetize your Instagram account? Urban Buds is trying. Oh, and then your attitude. Personal appearance, okay. We talked about personal appearance, well-groomed. Attitude, are you proud of your products and what you do for a living? No complaining ever. It doesn't matter what is going on in your personal life. Even when you think these people are your friends, they're not your friends. I mean, they're kind of your friends, but not really. They're really not your friends, right? They're your customers. And so everything's rosy on the farm, you know? Everything's going great. If I start complaining, Mima will pull me out. She'll tap me on the shoulder and say, you just complained. Strike one. By the way, you only get one strike, you know? We're kind of hard on each other at times, but hey. Are we proud of what we do for a living? You know, my customers, when they find out that I have another job, their faces fall. They get sad. They think I'm just out there in the flowers all the time. Isn't that funny? Let them have their myth, you know? They're like, wait, what? Wait, how many hours a week do you work? And then they just get sadder and sadder and sadder. You don't want to tell them any of that. How do you keep them engaged? Okay, know your product. You are the expert on this product. People ask us all the time, hey, how do I grow this ginger? When the ginger comes out, inevitably, we have to have another person in the booth because I am there just answering how you grow ginger. Now, how do you grow ginger? How do you grow ginger? Can I grow ginger? Can I pick this up and grow this ginger? How do you grow ginger? I mean, we're paying someone $10 an hour so I can answer these questions to people who then don't even buy it, right? But ultimately, Urban Buds is the expert on ginger, right? Oh, what do I do about my forsythia bush? How do I get my tulips to, and you know what? You answer it. You just do it. And that makes you the expert in your field, right? You need to be that expert. Oh yeah, and then this is to engage. You know, these are questions you ask your customers. Have you ever tried this? You know, if it's a product, what do you, I'd like to eat. You know them a little bit more. Oh, you're on that diabetic diet. Here's more cake, or whatever it is. Do you ever? Just get to know them and keep remembering them. Okay, so stay in eye contact with customers. Of course, have a conversation with them. Avoid shifting your eyes too much or looking down away from customers. Keep your hands and elbows away from your body. Listen to customers, nod your head and smile. Avoid fidgeting and touching your face. This is a big one. Do not touch your face. When you're in the farmer's market booth, try not to touch your hair, any of that. Open and relaxed posture. Avoid crossing your arms and standing rigidly. I fluff flowers, or like on your booth. If you have a dead period, just keep fluffing that booth. Maintain interest. Oh, here we go. Oh, Right? A lot of this is just public speaking. It's just confidence, right? What was I going to say? Oh, never in your phone, right? I mean, I got on about smoking, right? But the phone is way worse. You are not on your phone. You do an Instagram, you do a social media post, when you get there and your booth is full, hey, we're here. We're here. It's farmer's market. It's 8 in the morning. Come on down. And then that phone only comes out for square sales, right? Taking the square reader, taking the credit cards. That's the only time. You do not get in your phone. Very, very bad. Okay, can you make it an experience? Urban Buds, what do we do? You know what we do? Well, this year we're missing Easter. Sad for us. So I think we're going to have a pop-up shop on our farm. Just open the farm up and say, hey, come and buy some flowers. Easter is generally the second highest floral holiday for us, okay, after Mother's Day. But we're missing Easter this year. Farmers Market doesn't open until 2 weeks after Easter. Boo! But what we normally do at Easter is I plan out 2 flats of wheatgrass. And then I bring them to Farmers Market and put them on a bench that's right at like toddler eye level. And I put little chicks, like plastic chicks on them, and decorate it a little bit, and then I put little chocolate eggs in there. And I say, hey, can your kid participate in an Easter egg hunt at our booth? Perfect. People come on in. And fall. Have them play with seed pods. Can you do a little design or tasting? Can you have a little recipe demo at your booth? How do you make it an experience for them? And really get those kids. Man, people love it when you pay attention to their kids. Show passion about your product. Oh yeah. Personal preference for your goods. Peak season for an item. Yeah, that's a big one. This is all just salesmanship, y'all. This is all just salesmanship. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Now we're getting into what is your marketing strategy? Okay, so you have your logo. You know how to present yourself and your product and your business really well at farmers market, right? Now we're talking about how we get that information out there. Farm pamphlet or brochure, let's do it. Get it done, right? To build up our store of high resolution photos for something like a farm pamphlet, we hired a photographer to come in once a month for an entire year to take photos. Right? She came in for about an hour and a half. And then we got that good bank of photos. And now yearly, at least once a year, we hire a professional photographer to come in and take photographs of us. Because that goes on your website and that goes into your brochure. They need to be, they can't just be phone photos. They have to be good photos, okay? And then write something about it. You know, we have the weekly or monthly newsletter, and I would put this in with blog. You know, if you have your website, right, every farm, you know, has a website. We'll just assume, I encourage every farm to have a website. That's like having a business card now, right? Is your website. So on your website, you can have a blog feature. People want to know what you're doing. Some venue to tell your story. And this isn't, you don't complain here, but this is where you can say more like, oh yeah, I was, you know, look at me digging this huge trench. It took 9 hours. Look at my muscles. You know, they love seeing that kind of stuff, right? As they're in their offices, at work, checking their whatever, and they're not supposed to be, and they wish they were outside. That's what you promote to them. And then in that same venue, you become the expert. Urban Buds has freesia right now. No one else has freesia. How did that happen? It's because we know how to grow in greenhouses. We know how to fertilize, we know how to do all of it. We're the expert. You make yourself the expert. Right? And then Newsy shares stuff. They want to see, oh God, ever since we have August, pictures of August, pictures of the kid, pictures of us with the kid, pictures with us with the kid in the flowers, pictures with us with the kid in the flowers with the dog. Pictures with us with the kid in the flowers with the dog with a tractor. Bam! You better do it. So, in the flower business, there's someone called Florette Farm. She has 500,000 followers on Instagram. When she started farming in 2009, 10 years ago, right? She called the Missouri Department of Agriculture and said, I heard there's this African-American grower in Missouri that grows flowers. She was trying to find Mima Davis to ask how Mima grew her flowers. And she found her. She talked to Mima, and she took it and ran with it. And now this woman is making tons of money. And she's doing great. And you know what she told me? She gave us this time with her because she was thankful of Mima's help. And she said an hour a day on your social media. At least an hour a day. Man, we're not there, but we better be. Because that's how you deal with your competition. Do you have recipes to hand out? That's really important. People love that. Preservation tips. And again, your website, you know. You can design it yourself, but, I mean, do you know how to do that? I don't. We hired someone. Social media, choose one and be good at it. For us, we like Instagram. That's what we like. Follow us on Instagram. We like Instagram. I don't like Facebook. People like to message you about all this kind of stuff. I don't have time for all this. But people still use Instagram. I mean, still use Facebook, especially the older generation. But Instagram, with Facebook, there's a higher expectation of engagement, and we can't live up to it. Right? People they message you and they want a response within 2 hours. We can't do that. Pinterest, you know, I don't know if you all, I mean, that isn't really appropriate necessarily, but interestingly enough, Pinterest, highest income level and highest education level are people who are shopping on Pinterest. If people find your business through Pinterest, they spend the most money. Next is Instagram, then Facebook. Okay, okay, just put it in the hopper. Take a photography class. Cell phones are good, but throw in professional photos too. We talked about that. I know it can be hard to think about all this marketing, right? I find it hard, but it's the way of the world. Here we go, headshots, drone aerials, all of this. The farm photos for your website. I really want to get drone aerials. I want to run out, you know, see the urban farm, see the city. Hopefully the drone doesn't get shot, and there we go. We'll see. Okay, so drive traffic to your website. You have your blog. Maybe you sell your merchandise from the farm. Social media, boost posts when you're having events. You know, I mean, I think agritourism really is the way to go. Pumpkin patch, farm-to-table dinners. Joyce, do I got to cut it off here?
Like 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay, great. Farm to table dinners, we're talking with the chef now about a farm to table dinner. Everything to try to get income. My dream is that my family can have $80,000 worth of income. That's my dream. We're not talking big numbers, folks, here. We're doing all this stuff for $80,000. I mean, we gross more than that, right? And we're not there, but that's my dream. My dream. We'll see. Time post for peak traffic hours. That's something you can do on social media. Time your posts for when they come out. Or no, you know, when people look. People look at Facebook before they leave work, right? They want to leave work, they're looking at their Facebook. Between 4 and 5 is great. Even 3:30, right? If you want to get people with kids before the kids get out of school. Right? And then, we're not good at this, but reintroduce yourself every 6 months for newbies. You know, oh, this is us again. This is, you know, so what we are, what we do, blah, blah, blah. Keep doing it. Also, like and follow and comment on other people's pages and feeds. Use popular hashtags. This is more for Instagram. Hire a hipster. A hipster, a scenester, someone who knows what the kids are into, what your target demographic is into. Do you know what your target demographic is into? We are too busy growing flowers, aren't you? Right. This is us talking about hiring someone to help with marketing. We can't keep up. And now because of like, we just had someone call like, oh, we want to put you in a book. Or I have a meeting with them next week. We want to feature Urban Buds in a book. Well, okay. We'll have a talk with them. But then, you know, what are the consequences of Urban Buds being featured in a book? Right? Like, if someone calls us and asks us for a seating schedule, we don't give that out. That's a lifetime of work. And that's the key to a successful business. You want our seating schedule? Buy the business. You know? Like, what are these intellectual property rights? How much are you going to give out and how much are you not going to give out? You know? But that's where it's like the team. You need that team. So someone wants to put us in a book, and they want information about how we grow things. Are they going to pay us? Question mark. I don't know. Get your team in place to help you figure that stuff out. Speaking engagements are a new thing. I mean, not new, but we're doing more and more of this. My wife quit her job at Lincoln University last April and took about a $13,000 pay cut, leaving the university, coming to work on the farm. Okay? We have a son, $10,000 in childcare a year. We're at $23,000 less of income, right? Because of having a kid and trying to be a full-time farmer. How are we going to make up that money? How are you going to make up that money? Well, for us, speaking engagements, workshops, charging, we're starting to think about this stuff. Conferences. She was out all over the place. University of Minnesota, Virginia State University. She's going to Louisiana State University. Get on out there. We were just in New Orleans. You got to go, go, go. Hustle, hustle, hustle. Make that money. So we can live that dream of farming, right? Tours. I think tours are great. Start to charge $10 a head. It's a 2-hour tour. They get a lot of information. Maybe you could charge $5 for a tour where you're at. Start with freebies. Also with these speaking engagements, start with extension. Start with garden clubs. Start with whoever it is. Hey, call your FFA person. Go into ag classrooms. Start getting that, credentialing yourself, right? Oh, I do these presentations. I speak at this conference. And then you can start charging, right? Create a standard PowerPoint and modify it. The farmers who stay in it a long time, the people I'm meeting, more and more, this is how they're making that winter income, right? Because 94% of farmers have off-farm income, right? 94%. Speaking engagements, okay, there we go. Cooperative to determine your fee. Yep, there we go. Offer freebies, it's all in there. What is that about? Okay, communicating with your retailers. Here's Nima a long time ago when her hair was short when she was young. Selling to a florist in Jefferson City. Just stay engaged. Here's one of our florists, Bridget. Stay engaged. How do we do that? I don't think this part is appropriate for you all considering the way you talked about it, but we now have an online storefront where florists come in, where the wholesalers come in and buy our product online. You know, they place an order and then we either deliver it to them or they come and pick it up. If you have questions about this, you can ask me. It's just another piece of the puzzle. But here's what it looks like. Here's the online storefront, right? Woo, $25 a bunch for ranunculus. Heck yeah, $25 a bunch for ranunculus. I couldn't believe it. I was sweating so much. I said, Nina, that's so high, so high, so high. But look at what Barb did. Bam. 90 bucks in ranunculus, 75 in ranunculus. Boop, 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 boop. 280. Great. Good job, Barb. Love you. How to lose your customers. Here you go. Here, you're losing your customer. Look at that. Sloppy, sitting, reading. No good. Talking on the cell phone. Oh, here, I'm bad for this one. Chatting a long time with other vendors or customers who have been helped while others are waiting. I mean, when we have a line that's like this, summer we had a line that was like, I don't know, 12 people deep. And I was like, hey, Frank. I mean, Nemo was really mad at me. Line is formed in the vendor stand. So you greet that, right? When someone's waiting in line, you greet that person. You're talking to the person you're helping, and then you greet the person behind you, and then you finish up what you're doing. You know, make sure everyone's greeted, right? Customers won't wait. Yeah, they'll walk away. And when they fail to acknowledge the waiting customers. And you can't make change. That loses it. Here we go. This is in your handout. Bad sign, disorganized, poorly stocked, unreadable scale, poor people skills, dirty, shopping problems, all that kind of stuff. This loses customers. But here, this is what gets customers. Look at him, so cheerful. Logo on his shirt, samples, engaged. Things beautiful, a good scale, that's certified. The logo, all that kind of stuff. Okay, always end on a positive note. With your customers too. When someone, after someone we make change, kind of while I'm doing it, so what are you doing? What are you doing fun this weekend? What are you doing this weekend? What's next? You know, where are you going? Just always be cheerful. Doesn't matter. It's not, you know, this is your time to make money. Okay, so you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Here's my information, and here's my Lincoln email. East St. Louis, I might, you know, it's out of the range, but I'm curious. You might want to sit down and have a little coffee. I don't drink coffee, but you could have coffee. Okay. We could have a little tea, you know. Talk about it, see what's up. Does anyone have any questions? Yes?
How did you go about picking the flowers that you grow, or do you expand them every year, more different varieties, or do you keep?
So we grow
do you keep the varieties that you have?
Yeah. So we grow 70 different varieties of cut flowers a year, and we follow the trends on the coasts. And I mentioned like Florette. Now she's like the top, right? So we see what she's doing. She's like a dahlia queen. So we're like dahlias, dahlias, dahlias. But you know, we grow. We follow bridal trends. You look at the bridal magazines, all that kind of stuff. And then what's available from the wholesaler. Like we buy all of our seeds wholesale, right? We go through catalogs, and it's getting harder and harder to get cut flower seeds because it's so popular right now. But so kind of what's available mixed with what people are pushing. And then we spend a lot of time with the Association of Specially Cut Flower Growers. We do a lot of professional development. I was just in New Orleans at a 3-day workshop about estate planning. 3 days about estate planning. It blew my mind, you guys. And so, you know, we follow what those people are doing. And then for us, you know, and for you all, where's the money? The money's in the hard stuff, right? When everyone has tomatoes, you either got to be first or you got to market the heck out of yourself to make them buy your tomato, right? So, so we have to grow the really hard stuff. In July is like really hard for us. That's when everyone can grow a zinnia, you know, and they underprice it. So we just have to try to make a lot of money at at the beginning and end of the season for stuff that's hard to grow. So that's how we kind of determine that too. And then just what we like, but we have to have a variety. I counted last week, one week we brought 35 different types of flowers to farmers market. Now if you follow any of this lean farming stuff, you know, you're familiar with the lean farming, the guy who's like, oh, I worked for Toyota and now you can use these principles on your farm. They say grow just a few varieties, right? The money is in growing just a few varieties. But for us, we have to have a lot of different, you know, to make the bouquets. We like a mix of perennials and annuals, unusual colors, yellow peonies, whatever you can get the most money for and is beautiful. I know I focus a lot on money, you guys, but this is a marketing presentation, so there you go.
Yeah, you know, you threw me off guard when you said you can get the product and increase the price, because I know in economic, the higher the price, the lower the demand. So how is that possible?
I believe the price still has to be reasonable, okay? So you can't be like a complete outlier, right? But you need to be higher than the grocery store, right? And the way you do that is through marketing. And your product's better. For us, the cut flower, this flower, Joyce is going to take these home because she worked so hard on this conference. Joyce gets these for you, right? Yeah. And it's going to be fragrant and it's going to last long. So we need to we have to hold our product up and say, okay, compared to the flowers at Schnucks, ours lasts longer. You know, so that starts with high quality product. So you have to have your growing skills down. There's no way, if you're a bad farmer, you can't hide that with marketing. Right? But then the marketing is what creates that buzz, where people are engaged in your story. You know, they want to know all about it. They want to know that Morgan gets paid way more than minimum wage. They want to have access to us. I mean, people just want to come and be around us. And the way you do that is by being personal and cheerful, putting out beautiful pictures. And if you're not good at that stuff, then you sell wholesale. And you make less money. Or you have bigger volume. Okay, any other questions? I hope this is what you were looking for. Oh, I have some cards too. Follow us on Instagram.
All right, our next speaker is going to be Catherine Bonner. She has her master's degree in horticulture from the University of Missouri and has served as a horticulture specialist for the Thomas Jefferson Agricultural Institute for 4 years and was responsible for the design and care of vegetable gardens there. During her employment as an extension technician for Lincoln, she helped organize this conference, so she can probably tell us when it started, right?
2012 was like,
Yeah.
that's been going on.
So a long time, we've been trying to keep this conference going. And now she's the marketing specialist for the Missouri Department of Ag, which she's been at for the past 5 years.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Catherine Bonner, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Missouri Department of Agriculture and specifically the Ag Business Development Division is what I work in. The department is composed of many different levels. I'm sure you guys have heard about weights and measures with the scale certifications, and we've got animal health and plant industries, and a whole bunch of people working together in the Department of Ag.
Can you hear okay, or would you like her to use a microphone?
I am kind of soft-spoken, so. All right, can you hear me better now? So our director, Christian, has been in office for a little bit over a year now with the new administration change. And her people have come up with the MORE initiative. So we really are trying to work in the department on what does it take to feed more people, what will it take to reach more people, and she's really engaged in social media and putting out videos on people in farming and telling their story, because it's very important to tell your story to consumers. And also to reach more is in the consumer part, which would be the story, is connecting more people. A lot of people in the rural areas have a hard time with broadband, so she's coming together and working, trying to get broadband to rural areas so people have access to the internet. And empowering more people, just building people's self-esteem, and agriculture is super important because everyone needs to eat. So it's just kind of getting out, reaching the citizens of Missouri. So in my division is Ag Business Development. We like to abbreviate that as ABD. And our task is to promote and assist all industries of Missouri agriculture, both domestically, like in-state, as well as internationally. We have a group of folks who are devoted to exporting. And how we do that, we're able to provide funding opportunities and information. We like to connect people with resources. So if you have questions, we connect people to Extension and other areas. We like to promote and showcase Missouri agriculture. We have a couple of people who are devoted to market reporting. And I know that was a question, how do you find out prices of products? We have people at sale barns for livestock, so they're able to report the prices of that, commodities, and then recently we've been starting to report prices from the farmers markets on produce and meats and the different products there. And then we have an educational component as well. At the State Fair in Sedalia every year, we have a whole building devoted to agriculture, the ag building that we run. And then we do different farm days. And then the MAVA and Quest are two programs for high school students to kind of connect them with agriculture and technology. And then in our division, we've got it divided into domestic marketing. Agri-Missouri is what I am currently working on. And then we have the people who work with domestic exporting out of state, as well as international marketing. And then for market news, those are the people who report the prices. And then we have the Missouri Agricultural and Small Business Development Authority. We just call them MASBA, it's kind of a long name, but then they provide funding through loans and grants and tax credits. And right now we have a new division director with all the changes. Davin Althoff comes to us from the Beef Industry Council. He's been our director since September, and he's really adamant about strategic planning. And so we are coming together trying to figure out what direction we want the division to go into and how we can better help the agricultural folks of Missouri. So our state branding program is called Agri-Missouri, and it was started in 1985, so it's been around for a little while. And our primary goal is to promote Missouri grown as well as Missouri made products from Missouri businesses. That's our whole mission. And we represent people who have food and non-food products. Then also retailers, farmers markets can join, people who have agritourism opportunities and different agricultural experience destinations. So just a little bit about our membership. You can join Agri-Missouri at agrimissouri.com. And with that, we have different levels of membership. And I would encourage everyone to at least join as a free member if you're selling product right now, because it helps increase your web presence. It gives you an online profile with your contact information. It lets people know what products you're currently selling, and it links back to your website, or if you have a Facebook page, it'll link back to that, Instagram, any of those social media type pages. And then there are just different benefits that you get for moving up to a paid membership, such as you could use our new Missouri Grown logo on your products, or on banners or websites or anything like that if you wanted to. use that just to help people understand that your product is from Missouri. And we have a program for people who have value-added products who want to go into marketplace, like grocery stores. Sometimes they require a barcode. So we have come together, and with that, with more people in the program, they're able to split the cost of obtaining barcodes for your products. We have a State Fair store of Missouri products in the Ag Building that is for 11 days in Sedalia. So if you're a paid member, you are allowed to participate in that, as well as other MDA-sponsored events. And then just on the search feature on our website, paid members show up higher than free members. So this is that Missouri-grown logo that I was talking about a little bit earlier. It came out about a year ago. And we had a consumer focus group look at our, our old logo. So this is what it used to be. And they said that the responses that came back were it's a little unclear as to what it means or what it's selling. We have the city on top, and it meets the beautiful countryside. It's called Agri Missouri, but it isn't one of those that you can look at and then immediately see like, oh, this is a Missouri product. So that's where they came up with this Missouri Grown. They decided to call it Missouri Grown. It has the state. It's very easy to recognize. So if you put that on your packaging, people can immediately look at it and know where it's from and who made it. So with that new logo that came out, they decided, well, we need a new website. And so this is the front page of our new website. And it's got an easier way to search for products. You can just type in anything that you're looking for. And then they're also sectioned off into different categories down below to search and find things. So once you sign up as, yes.
Katie, how can the farmers get this Missouri Grown logo and put it on their packaging? Do they have to pay for that?
Yeah, that was in my, right here. So if you want to use the logo, it's one of the benefits of being a paid member. So you need to pay the membership of $50 or $100. And usually the main benefit of being a $100 member is if you want a certain number of barcodes as well, or if you just are really excited and want to be listed above everybody on the search. So once you sign up, you get an online profile that clearly states your name and then contact information. So how can people get a hold of you? If you are worried and don't want them to know your specific address, you can just let us know when you're filling it out. Just put in the city and the state. Please include your mailing address so we can still get in contact with you. And then you can add an email, and then this is that website link, and it can be to whatever social media, or if you do have a website, it would be great because if you click on that, it'll go directly to you. So then it lists what products you're selling, and this lady is selling blueberries and things like that, and it's in fixed, so she's got that in there. Product description, that's where you can go into more detail about what products you have, because some of ours are pretty vague categories, like you have apples. Well, then here you can go ahead and describe what varieties of apples you grow, when, and other things like that. So when people search for a certain word, it'll be more likely that this page will come up if you put more into your description. About us is just telling your story about your farm and your business and what you know, how it came to be. And then locations is where can people find your product? Do they need to go to the farmer's market? Do you have a booth there? Are you selling at certain grocery stores? Just put their names and address there, or city. Are you selling online, or is it an appointment only? That type of thing, just so people know how to buy your product. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the different programs that we have. The first is the Barcode Cooperative. So many times people will find if they want to sell their honey or different products to the grocery store, that they are going to require you to have that UPC, the barcode, which this person that's right here. And there's only one company who can legitimately sell barcode numbers, and it's called GS1. So we purchased what they call company prefix numbers from that company, and we're able to spread the cost among more people, and so we can charge less to actually obtain a single barcode. So if you need 1 to 25 barcodes, you would join as a $50 member, and then if you need 26 or more, that would be the $100 level. You purchase each barcode for $10.50, And then each year you have to be a paid Agri-Missouri member in good standing, and then renew each barcode for $2.50. And just to give you a comparison, if you wanted 10 barcodes from GS1, you'd pay $750 upfront to get those 10, but we were able to, cut that way down to like $60.50 if you wanted them. So it helps out small businesses for looking to get into the retail marketplace with some of their value-added products. Another program that we have going on right now is our fundraising program. A lot of groups have fundraisers, like FFA. They usually sell those fruit baskets and things like that, or 4-H groups or church groups. Anyone who's, or cheerleading groups are trying to raise money for an event or things like that. We thought it would be a good idea to sell Missouri products. Typically, they're shelf stable, is what we have right now in our catalog. But our members can participate, our paid members can participate, by providing a company logo, your business summary. You pick about 3 to 5 products that you want to put into the catalog with quality photos of those, and then let us know the wholesale price as well as what they should charge, so they can, it is a fundraiser, so they are trying to make a little bit of money. And so the fundraising group goes through the master catalog with all the different categories, picks out 10 to 12 companies to participate, and before we lock you in on having these people sell your product for you through the fundraiser, they will check to make sure that it's okay, that you have enough product, that you're comfortable with it, and then it's in a location that you may have to ship it unless you're comfortable going there and dropping your product off. So they'll definitely check with you first. And then the fundraising group works directly with all of our members in order to order, ship, and invoice everything. So with the logo, if you are interested in using that on any of your retail packaging, we have a program right now, and it closes next Friday, but there's definitely funding left, and there is time, because all you need to submit is a proposal for the project that you want to do. It is run as a cost share reimbursement, so we have funding up to 75%, or 75% up to $1,000 can be given back with anything associated with putting the logo onto retail packaging. So that could be putting it on your label, putting it on stickers to put on to your label, printing plastic bags, anything that goes home with the customer. If it has the Missouri Grown logo on it, we can help with that cost, which has helped a lot of people so far. And some of the eligible expenses, if you have a graphic designer who is actually designing your label, and they can put it on there, we can help pay for that expense. The product labels, the stickers, whatever it's on, if it's on produce boxes, that sort of thing. And then it's definitely open until next Friday to get your proposal in. You have to have a quote so you know how much it might cost. And then you have until May to get everything printed and all your receipts turned back in. And here are just a few of the companies that have already gone through the program. It was also offered last year, and we're hoping to continue it every year. So it would hopefully be open next March too. But see, they have the Missouri Grown logo on it's printed directly on the box, so they're able to pay for a portion of the box printing. And then these two people have the logo printed directly onto their label, and then this lady had it's a sticker that's put on top. Now this person did change the coloring, and that is a possibility, but you have to have everything approved by the department before you go and say, oh, I want to turn it purple or change it to a different color. We also have a farm to institution program. It's to connect Missouri farmers to not only schools, but to hospitals, nursing homes, and prisons, and other bigger institutions. And our coordinator for that is Morgan Householder, and she has been working with a lot of groups to try to get different Missouri agricultural products into the schools and snack lunches and meals and that sort of thing. And right now, one of the projects she's working on is called Mo Beef and Mo Kids, and it's the pilot program is actually in Mount Vernon. And they're working with the Beef Industry Council too, so they were able to find a cattle producer who donated an animal to the processor. The school pays for the processing of the animal, and then they're able to use that beef in the school lunches. And so producer gets is signage at the participating school, and also they can take that as a charitable donation off of their taxes too. Another program we have for farmers markets, I know a few of you sell at the farmers market. If you know the manager and you're trying to expand the awareness of your market, this is a great one for your markets. It is closed this year, but then it should open again because this is the second year that they've done it, so they'll probably do it again. And look for it in the fall or early next year. But it helps support farmers markets in just getting promotional and advertising materials out there so people are aware that you have a market and it's alive and viable. And eligible expenses are signage, you pay for billboards if you want to do radio ads, digital print. The only stipulation is you must use the logo in any of the materials that you have. It's a reimbursement. So funding is a dollar for dollar match up to $1,000. So if you are going to ask for $500, you have to make sure that you have $500 in money to put towards that project. Now, half of the $500 can be called what we call in kind, so it doesn't need to be cash. So you really only need $250, but then the other $250 can be counted as volunteers. If you have volunteer time who are working on the project, you can say, oh, $10 an hour, and you have so many volunteers, and that could be counting towards that $250. Or if they have donated materials or something towards your project that you could count for that $250. So, yeah. Okay, so I am in charge of the organic cost share program. I don't know if anyone is certified organic or thinking about it. We have funding, at least for this year. I can't guarantee any other years after this, but we definitely have some for 2018, and we're approved, but we're just waiting on the funding. And that is 75% of the cost, up to $750 will be reimbursed on each certificate you have. So typically I've seen 4 different areas of certification on crops, livestock, handling and processing, and wild crops. Never seen anybody do wild crops, but lots of crops and livestock. So you can, once you get certified and have your certificate, you just need to provide copies of the invoices that are marked paid within certain dates. And for 2008, this funding year, it'll be, you have to have that marked paid October 1st, 2017 through September 30th, 2018. And this is open until December. And then you have to have a completed and signed application. We have an urban and non-traditional agriculture matching grant program. It kind of works just like the farmers market match does, but the request for funding can be a little bit more. It's up to $7,500. And this encompasses projects which include introducing a new crop to an area or expanding the use or adding value to ag crops. And it can be put towards equipment or materials, business plan development, marketing activities. Really, and if you go to the website too, you can see some past winners to see what some of their projects. Yeah, Urban Buzz, I believe they participated.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
That was a great grant.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Go for it.
Yep, and it should be open again this fall, so look for it. So those programs were mainly in the domestic part of the realm, and then we move into our domestic and international marketing where they're really focused on exporting. So they participate in trade shows and buyer missions, and then they're able to join different councils, national councils that provide the benefits to the members who are doing the different things in the state, but don't have to join, so they get passed on the benefits. And they direct potential buyers to Missouri products and services. They make company visits just like we do in consultations. They've got specific market research on different items and commodities that they can provide. They provide export certificates and certificates of free sale, and then they can provide information on funding opportunities. There are a lot of these fancy food trade shows that they're able to help give a little bit of funding to go to those, and you can sample to many different buyers. And for their buyer missions, companies and groups, they come to Missouri to learn about what Missouri producers have to offer and then buy from them. And usually it's focused around genetics and livestock and forestry are the two main areas. And these are the different missions that they have planned for 2018, including people from Mexico, Ecuador, and Panama coming over, looking at the genetics from the livestock here in Missouri, and then buying that and taking it back. And then Mexico's into the forestry. And then trade missions, that's where Missouri companies or staff go over to find buyers for Missouri products. And they have a plan for Mexico and Canada, and then they have some sort of furniture show in China that they're going to try to get Missouri made. So market news, they do the reporting for livestock and grains, and then the farmers markets, it's pretty new. I think it's only been done for a couple of years, and that reports the prices of tomatoes or vegetables, fruits, that sort of thing, meat cuts for certain areas of the state. So you can click on an area of the state and then see the minimum price, the maximum price, and the average for the different products. And right now, I know it cycles off every 6 months, so I don't believe there's anything in there right now. That's the website that you can go to find all the different reports. But since farmers markets are now starting to open up again for this season, they'll have people out, and Extension's really helped with that too for reporting prices. So you can see they've even kind of consolidated the urban areas, so it's not, so you have urban areas, and then you have like the rest of, like mid-Missouri, you have all of that, but then Columbia is like its own special thing, because it's a little bit more urban. So, or Kansas City has got a little, is called out, because the prices are just kind of a little bit different. So you can go on and just get an idea of what's selling in your area and go what price, which is pretty exciting. And then we get into MASBA, and they just make capital and money available to Missouri farmers and independent producers, small businesses through different ways. So they've got loan and loan guarantee programs, tax credits, and then just a couple of grants available. And I'm not an expert on all of these loans and loan guarantee programs, but we do have this wonderful pamphlet that's out on the table, and then you can, there's a great number on the back as well. And the loan officers are super nice, so you can just call that general number and they'll connect you with whoever. It would be good just to see if you qualify for anything that you need help with, that sort of thing. And then they also have the grants. So I know the Missouri Value-Added Farm to Table can be used for equipment and things like that for your venture, but then there's a certain percentage of what you're growing has to be going to schools. So that's one stipulation there. And Missouri Value-Added grant is for making, you have it's a pre-business plan thing. So if you need market research or business plan development help or something like that, you can apply for that grant. And then definitely, if you have any questions about any of the MASBA loans, you can use tax credits or grants to contact them directly. Are there any questions about the department of anything? Yes.
For the component that Mrs. Morgan, householder, is that open to everyone, or with the free, you said you have the free membership, 50 and 100, is that open
so
to
Farm to
everyone?
School is like a program all in itself, so it's not contained under Agri-Missouri, so it's definitely a separate thing, and so she will help anyone, and will help pretty much anyone, but as soon as you know some of your services start requiring fees, we'll let you know. But Farm to School is definitely a nation, or well, it's nationwide, but statewide program. We're trying to get more product into schools however we can. Like, I know there are lots of limitations and things like that, and she knows them better than I do. But you know, it's good to start small and to find the district in your area. And she has probably tips too on how to approach them and see what needs they have and things like that as well, and what I guess safety certifications if those are required or whatnot. But yeah, definitely contact Morgan and she'll try to help you with any of your questions. You don't even have to be an IMT member if you don't want to be.
our exit conference that morning. I thought it was going to be today. And they finally sent out a message that we're going to have TCU next Tuesday.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started.
Folder.
She's a Missouri retired farmer. I don't think you ever retired from farming. No, I don't think you ever retired from farming. And so she's also an area educator with LU, and so she's gonna understand the challenges that she's facing our area farmers. She owns both wholesale and retail value-added farm businesses. In 2008, Nancy and a group of 3 other Missouri farmers purchased a 25,000 square foot neighborhood grocery store in St. Louis. And then in 6 years, the farmers owned the store. Nancy served as a buyer and marketing director and liaison to the farmers. She's also served farmers by writing grants and assisted in food hub startups and management, as well as management of 2 combined community support agriculture programs. Her unique farm-to-table experience has enabled her to observe and learn to overcome many of the unique challenges faced by minority, beginning, and limited resource farmers. So she's obviously going to be a great resource for us. Take notes, and she's going to be here the rest of the day, so feel free to ask questions while she's presenting, but also pull her aside later and ask whatever you need.
Trying to get ready for the weigh-in for the doctor next Tuesday.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, that's what they're going to say. Build up a little muscle mass.
Yeah, I have a quiet voice.
Sounds like they're going to refer to it as muscle mass.
Well, you just heard my history, but I'm going to speak a bit more about it because I want you to understand how I know what I'm going to present. During a 34-year period starting in 1982, there was never a time that I didn't own a retail establishment of some sort. Starting in '80, I began farming, growing herbs and selling them mostly in the form of plants, but also value-added products like wreaths and arrangements and things like that. So for many, many years, I've had that retail covered. I have a lot of experience in farming, and then gradually, in more recent years, starting around 2006, is when I got more involved in wholesale. Some farmers and I bought a store in St. Louis, and it was a 25,000 square foot supermarket, and I was one of the buyers. So that's where my wholesale buying experience comes in, as well as being on the other side of the table, selling to a buyer. So my main job, and that was a 6-year job. I visited the farms, I got to know the farmers, I advised the farmers, and I brought their product into our store. We kind of specialized in bringing a farmer who had never sold wholesale. In fact, almost all of our farmers had never sold wholesale. Some of them are now some of the more successful St. Louis area farmers like Todd Geisert. Some of you from that area, I'm sure, have heard of Todd Geisert. He's an amazing marketer now. Windcrest Dairy Yogurt has gone to the millions of containers of yogurt being sold. Many of these people started with us. And what we did was to assist them, first of all, to know what was required, which is some of what I'm going to talk about today. We called it retail readiness. If they didn't have a barcode on their value-added product, or they didn't know how to grade their produce, we taught them how to do that. So I'm talking to you out of all that experience, all that mixed experience. And I think it's given me a really good perspective on what a farmer who is, not even close to wholesale yet can do to get there fairly quickly if that's what they want to do. As Miranda said, if you really like people, you just kind of feed off of that one-on-one selling of your product, then farmers markets are a great venue for you. We would often recommend to people that they continue to do at least one farmers market if they love farmers markets. But that is a hard way to make a good living, farmers markets only. So then we would also suggest that they designate a certain acreage for wholesale growing, and that be the income they depended on to make a living, and that the farmers market be what brought their income up enough to have a really good life. So that was kind of the balance that we would suggest to people. But you can do it any way that you want. If you're thinking wholesale, you don't know where to start, that's what this talk is about. And I will start you way low, and I'll go up to a much higher volume. If you at this point are strictly farmers market and you're not even thinking of growing volume, I think you'll still learn from this presentation, and it can be quite surprising how quickly you go from retail to wholesale. My own experience was that in around 1982, I had a store near St. Louis, and in that store was some of my homemade potpourri in big jars, and I was selling it for $1 a scoop. Well, a buyer from Kansas City came in, saw it, smelled it, came up to the counter and said, would you be able to mix me up 15,000 bags of this by next week? For a buyer in Nebraska. And I said yes, being an opportunist. So I did, and it was, it was amazing. I mean, my whole family, that's all we did for that week was put together these bags, and my daughter's high school friends came in, stapled headers onto the bags. And I thought, well, wow, I've reached the pinnacle of my selling. That was amazing. I went from $30 sales to it was like $30,000 that week. But it all sold within days, and the next order was 60,000 bags. So in a very short time, I had to learn not only how to increase my own volume, how to procure labor, but also how to deal with a professional broker, which is, I was buying spices on the market, things like cinnamon that I couldn't grow. I was buying them on the wholesale market, and these are people that talk really fast. You have to know when you walk in or you're on that phone with them, you need to be prepared. And I learned it the hard way. But that business was successful. We ended up selling 250,000 bags that first year. And that was from a dead stock to 250,000 bags. So that's probably my biggest experience selling. And then my experience in buying went on for quite a few years, and we were much more flexible with farmers. So at least one of our farmers is in this room. And they did a wonderful job of promoting their product, of negotiating. They did their own negotiating. And can I say your name? Yeah. Adrienne was absolutely amazing. If our produce manager would try to talk her down, she could tell her story, and she could tell why she needed what she was asking, and she could get it. And so that's what you want to do. That's what I'm hoping. That's where I'm hoping we'll get you. So I just for fun on these pictures, I included some people that you might recognize. One of whom just passed this past year, and Adrienne's mom is up there, Lillian, and then the hand with the rice is just kind of a reminder to me that we have Missouri-grown products that are enormous volume, that are sold all over the country or maybe the world. And at that point, we were at Martin Rice, and just looking at their rice fields, but they sell all over the country at least. And then they're in Braggadocio, there's an organic rice farm, Steve McCaskill, and he has, I've watched him grow from, he came and talked to our little segment of Missouri Farmers Union in Doniphan, and at that time, I mean, he had a little jar of rice and he was thinking about growing organic rice, and he's now also up in the millions, I'm sure, of dollars of rice every year and growing. So, you know, you can go from very little to a lot in a pretty quick period if you are good at marketing, you're courageous, and, you know, you kind of hit, there's luck involved. You hit the right people, the right grants, the right funders. Maybe they might be a bank, it might be a grant, but you can do it, it happens. So I would just ask that you not go, oh, that's not me, I'm just not there yet. You really don't have to be yet. I'm not sure if I'm in the right spot to do, yeah, okay, good. Okay, so if you are a person sitting here who's been doing farmers markets and feel like you kind of got that down, you're doing well with it, and you're thinking, I really want to make a living, you want to move up, so what do you do next? Now these are people who have moved from retail into wholesale and do both. Just for starters, and some of you are here and some of you aren't, some of you have done this, I'm sure some of you haven't, but before you sell wholesale, you really have to do all the paperwork. So basically, even to have a CSA, or to get a grant, or to get a loan, you really have to do all these things. So you have to choose what structure you want your business to be. And you can have a lawyer help you with that, and I've done that with some businesses, and I've done some on my own after I got my feet wet with a lawyer, and I have to say that we did just as well doing it on our own once we knew what to do. So it doesn't have to be really expensive. After you have to register with the Secretary of State, which isn't very hard or expensive. You do have to do it. Once you're registered, then you can start a separate bank account, and you need to do that for your business. That's a way that you can keep that money separate from your personal money. It'll help you with your record keeping. It will help you with any kind of compliance that you may find that you need later. With taxes, everything. You really need that separate bank account if you're going to be selling wholesale. And in order to get that bank account for a business account, they will ask you for an EIN, and that's an employer identification number. It's very easy to get, and I think it's free. I'm almost positive it's free online, and it's pretty much instantaneous. There isn't a long wait like there is on some of the other paperwork. Do you need certifications? The answer is probably yes. There are going to be some certifications that you have to have, just business certification. But there are also some that you would choose, and you don't have to choose them, but they could really raise your income if you decide on them. Certified organic, non-GMO verified, or certified naturally grown are 3 certifications that a farmer might decide to get. If they choose certified organic, it's the hardest and the most expensive, but it also is going to increase the value of your product the most by far, and it also will open doors for you like at Whole Foods and places like that. And as we just heard, there is a cost share for the certification with the state of Missouri that is open and available now. Non-GMO growth verified is growing. It seems like every product I pick up in the store anymore, even kind of unlikely things that I wouldn't have expected, are going to have it non-GMO verified. And my last experience with that was that it was a difficult certification. The paperwork was difficult. It's not as expensive as organic, but it is somewhat costly. Certified naturally grown doesn't bring you a lot of extra money. It may not bring you any extra money on your product. Most, especially at the wholesale level, most buyers are not going to be real impressed with that one. But it does, it won't bring you more money. You can't say I'm certified naturally grown, so I need 10% more. But what that does do is attract, it is appealing to buyers if that label is on your product. And the buyer may know that. I know we did. We did pay a little bit of a premium for that because we knew we could more surely sell that product with a certified naturally grown. And that program is inexpensive, and it's a grassroots program where farmers inspect each other's farms. But what I've found in Missouri is it's almost non-existent at this point. It's been really hard to find someone. In Arkansas, though, it's pretty big. So if you're, being in the southern part of the state, it might not be a problem. I'm still trying to, for one of my farmers, I'm trying to make the right contact for the farmer to come to his farm. And once I do, we at Lincoln will be able to provide that information for you. It's been very surprisingly difficult to do this. I've called different people that I knew were doing it before, and none of them are now. But again, in Arkansas, I understand a lot of that is driven by the Jonesboro Farmers Market, which apparently it's a very valued certification there, and it's a big farmers market with about 15,000 customers per market. And they look for it. So if you look on the map on the website for certified naturally grown, you're just going to see Arkansas is just full, especially northeast Arkansas, of certified naturally grown farmers. Missouri they're like 3 in the whole state. It's really, really died out in Missouri. Don't know why. So just so you know that. But the markup for organic and non-GMO verified is very significant. And if you can get that cost share, then it's probably worth it. And of course, it's better for the environment and better for your family. And you'll hear over and over that the paperwork is onerous. It's really not that onerous. You just need a trail. You just need to keep records. They'll look at your records. That's all they're going to look at. So once a year, someone will inspect your records, and that's about it to keep it going. Okay, there may be certifications required by law for your farm. The food safety certifications are often required by wholesale buyers, even if you don't fall under the legal requirement for them. We at Lincoln and University of Missouri are holding a lot of workshops to educate farmers in the new food safety requirements. But what you will find if you're selling wholesale, that most of the buyers for the chain stores for Whole Foods, they're going to expect you to have it anyway. And I highly recommend that you have it to protect yourself. If you think of the cantaloupe, the E. coli outbreak on cantaloupes, those farmers were sued for millions of dollars, and it was basically because they didn't know how to keep their cantaloupes safe. So I do highly recommend that you at least take the courses. You can ask us where you can learn. You can tell us if you want more workshops, and we'll be glad to help with that. If you're selling, again, to maybe even a single store, but certainly to any chain, and certainly to Whole Foods, who are great buyers of organic produce in particularly, you will be required to have liability insurance. And the liability is going to be usually from $1 million to $5 million in coverage, but that isn't terribly expensive. It sounds like it would be really expensive, but probably because there aren't that many claims on these policies, it's really worth looking into. It's fairly affordable. You do want to find a broker or an insurance agent who specializes in that type of insurance. If they don't, they're going to call a broker, and the pricing can just be all over the map. If they do specialize in it, they're going to know what you need, and they're going to be able to find a better price for you. Okay, choosing what to grow. And I think around this area, we tend to choose what we like to eat. tomatoes, squash, peppers. They grow great for us. But then you okra, and then you get into that season, that glut season, and everybody's got them. And they're really, really cheap. And the buyers may not even be willing to buy them because everybody's growing them. So let's kind of think about that a little bit. There are a couple ways to beat that. If you really want to grow tomatoes, extend your season, and we can help you get a high tunnel too, and that'll extend your tomato season on both ends in the spring and the fall. We used to pay $3 a pound for a tomato that came in before June, and as soon as June hit and the tomato glut hit, we dropped it to 75 cents. So that gives you an idea of how much value you can get by selling off season. You can find out what vegetables and varieties buyers are looking for. It's just like any other trend or fashion. You can find it out in magazines, you can find it out online, you can talk to people. As Miranda mentioned, kale's been big for quite a while now, so kale's a good one. Berries are always great. Herbs have never stopped bringing premium prices, and they are easy to grow, and they should be really good in the Bluefield area. And then ethnic foods, like the hotter peppers and tomatillos, there aren't enough of them available, and you can really get a buyer's attention by selling things like those. Try to stay away from those common crops if you're wanting to make the most profit. Try to grow things that are more unusual or branded.
Yeah, I have a question about this, Nancy. I had someone contact me in the St. Louis area about doing a specialty crop block grant to fund green tomatoes.
Oh, you know what?
But only green tomatoes.
That's actually a good idea.
Not red tomatoes.
It's a good idea.
I thought it was a good idea too, but am I nuts here?
No, the thing is, they're hard to find. We paid a premium for green tomatoes.
Right.
We didn't get very many of them. Most growers weren't in that mindset. Now, I got everybody in here who eats them. And probably can't find them. I mean, if you're not growing them, or if you are growing them, it's only at certain times that you can get them. And yeah, it's a great one. Green tomatoes is a good one. And just think, you're picking your tomatoes earlier, and they're tougher.
They're easier to ship, or not, but pack.
Exactly, they're easier to pack and ship. So yeah, thanks. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But if you put the heat to them, they turn red.
Right.
I mean, my green tomatoes, you make green, but when it's sunshine and heat, they
Yeah, they'll turn pretty quick, so you have to pick them early.
Right.
Early, pick them all red. Make it last a little while. Do you know on their grant, were they dealing with that? Were they extending the season for green tomatoes? Is that what they were trying to do?
Yeah, well, okay, sadly, they wanted me to review their grant the day it was due. But, you know how it is. But, so I think what they were trying to do was grow them in high tunnel,
Okay.
right? And then just have the green tomato. But there was a component, right? So we were talking about trying to feed, trying to bring food into communities that need more fresh produce. So they're trying to link the green tomatoes with the mobile market in St. Louis and try having them sort of be like a way to get people to the mobile market or to markets in neighborhoods that maybe need that fresh produce more.
We actually did that in St. Louis with our mobile market. That was one reason we were buying green tomatoes.
Right.
They sell very well in
Right.
those neighborhoods.
I thought it was a great idea,
It's
but
a cultural too, so.
yeah, it was a culturally appropriate. And it seemed a little bit like, just kind of like junk food a little bit because, green tomatoes are maybe not necessarily prepared the healthiest all the time, but to get them into the market, it seemed like a great idea.
I don't even think it's junk food. I like them.
But do you just fry them though? I mean, is it just fried all the time? Is that the only
No,
way?
I don't have to be fried all the time. I've experimented a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've only ever eaten them deliciously fried with like delicious condiments.
I see them little side dish, saute, just like a friend.
They can also be pickled. I love it.
They
I don't think
they
that's
also
what-
make them cha-cha. They make cha-cha. They make cha-cha with them too. Yes. And
I'm thinking healthy, but I don't know that I'm going. Ain't that right one?
Anything you like that you have trouble finding, that's usually a good, Miranda.
Miranda again. I also think having cilantro or culantro during peak tomato season.
And there are some, you know what, that's a great, there's some substitutes, well, like you said, culantro would be one. It's very difficult to have cilantro during tomato
Right,
season because
right.
it hates the heat. But there is another plant that I grow, and they do grow it in Mexico, and it's called papalo, which means butterfly in Spanish. And it's very productive. It tastes similar. To me, it's like, oh, that tastes just like cilantro. But if you get cilantro aficionado, they will say it doesn't taste exactly like it, but it's a pretty good substitute. But the fact that they do grow it in huge volume in fields in Mexico and they do use it like cilantro, it could very well be that when you're tasting something like in a salsa or something, it actually might be papalo. Because I don't know how, I've always said, how do they keep their cilantro going in Mexico? It's hot. But my Mexican friends say they definitely use papalo. And I do grow it, it gets big. I mean, you can really harvest a lot off of a plant. Mine gets about 7 or 8 feet tall. And it continues to get bigger and branch and produce all summer. So it's a good crop.
The other one, sorry, is sugar snap peas.
Yeah. That is a good one. And it's kind of a short season.
Yeah.
The best thing to do with them is start really early and then just sell the heck out of them while it's early and then they're just gone.
Yeah.
But they are in great demand. They're high priced at the store, so you should get a good value.
Could there be a fall sugar snap pea? I've wondered about that.
There can be. I'm always trying to grow them in the fall, and various things affect that, like maybe the soil's too hot for germination right at the time I should be planting it, and then they don't make peas in time, or they might get hit by a really hard frost too early. But I've always thought it was worth it to at least try, because if you get a good fall crop, you're really going to be out in front. There's just not that much local. Yeah. So you can really, that would be a seller's market. You could pretty much ask whatever you wanted to for that. Yeah.
Kind of related, how do you sell your herbs at?
How did I sell them? I found over a period of like 30 years that the absolute best way for me to sell them was as seedling plants, and I sold them wholesale and retail. When you cut them and just sell cut herbs, you probably experience, you don't sell them, you're just stuck. You either have to do something that day with them, or you have to live in a compost pile. And then the other thing that I did was to dry them and make wreaths, especially wreaths, but arrangements and even bundles. A dried herb bundle with a little raffia or a ribbon on it. Now there's a easy value-added product that probably the pricing is going to be as much as 5 or 6 times what that same little, if you had a little bundle of sage would get. Just make it pretty, basically, and you'll sell it. And that could be fresh too, but it's better really if you dry it and they'll have it, they'll be able to keep it. If they buy it fresh thinking, oh, I'll dry this, and then they carry it around and take it home and may not get to it till tomorrow, they're not gonna like what they get, and they probably won't want more. But if you have a farmer's market booth, I just hang them or lay them all around the booth, and the people that will buy those, sometimes grocery store buyers will buy those, but it's a different market, and florists almost always will buy them, and like gift and craft stores will buy those. So, and go for it. Any others before I move on? Okay, when you're planting your crops, think about what do you grow well? That's a good, and of course, again, I think we're gonna say tomatoes, squash, pepper, right? So just remember what I said about those. And then how much space do you have? Is it enough that for that crop, you can grow enough to make some money? Do you want to harvest all at once or over a long period of time? People vary on that a lot, but if you want to harvest over a long period of time, you want to plant different varieties and you want to stagger your plantings. What crops grow well in your geographical region? And you know, just because some crops grow super well and everybody's growing them doesn't mean that there aren't other crops that would grow well. So just do a little research and see, you know, what do other people grow in a region that has the same climate as ours does. What crops are in demand? That is so important to get everything sold and to get the best price that you can. And you can ask buyers what are in demand. They might even order if you're asking them that. They might even say, we need this and we need so much of that if you would agree to grow that. What crops bring premium prices? We've talked about that, off-season crops, unusual crops, things that people can't find. Those all bring premium prices. As far as extending your season, there are different ways, but I think the high tunnel is the best way. And we have, how many high tunnels have we provided now? Or 14. I just had 2 people approved, at least 2. I haven't even called everybody yet, but so that'll be 16. All those people are going to beat the season. They're going to improve their income a lot, and they paid nothing out of pocket for these high tunnels. So we have people here who can help. Adding value. It seems like once people get into wholesale, they don't stop at bulk produce. They start thinking, how can I get more? And we had in Sappington, in St. Louis, we had 275 different Missouri value-added products. And they weren't all the same thing. It wasn't all salsa or jam. We had mustard and this really amazing apple product that he calls it ambrosia, but it makes almost a syrup. It's like an apple syrup. Of course, salsa and jams and jellies, but then we had jam products that were made with hot peppers that made a completely different kind of, it's no longer something you spread on your breakfast toast. It might be on an appetizer or something like that. We sold. We originally going in, we thought, well, we'll see what sells, and then we'll continue to order the ones that do. And they all did. All 275 of those value-added products sold, and there was a great value to the producer in that. And now hearing that Agri-Missouri helps with barcoding, I would say barcoding was one of the things that held people back the most with value-added products. What we did was to provide barcoding for them, but you can't go to Schnucks and ask them to do that. So I would say if you're going to do this, absolutely call and get involved in that program. That's a really good deal. Most people don't have that $750 up front, but the prices that were quoted today were very reasonable. These are just to capture your imagination, but this is a new Missouri value-added company they're my farmers that I assist, and they're basically growing herbs, distilling them into hydrosols, which is it's a plant product that includes essential oils, but it's basically a water-based plant product, and they're making them into lotions and lots of other products. The lotions are my favorite. And they've just started this year, and they even kind of jumped ahead on some of the steps and are having to backtrack because they're doing so well to get themselves, better position to wholesale, but they're doing wonderfully well with it. This is just home, my home actually, making blackberry jelly, but we do have a gem and jelly law in Missouri, and that can be a good start in the value added because there are fewer requirements. Honey, and these are a very successful line of farmer-produced vegetable chips, mostly kale chips. And they use a large dehydrator rather than an oven or anything like that. They do huge volumes of kale and other leafy vegetables, and also a few things like carrots and corn, and make corn chips and that type of thing. But their kale chips are by far the most popular, and just a huge value for them. The kale doesn't cost them much to grow at all. The process is simple and inexpensive. The packaging is also easy and inexpensive. On the back, I'm sure they do everything by the book because they do wholesale, and I'm sure they have their analysis, their guaranteed analysis, and all of their nutritional information to be on the back of it. So that's something that you do have to do if you're wholesaling. Oops, I go backwards right here. Okay, just more examples of value added. This woman, talking about microgreens being everywhere, they didn't used to be, and she was one of the first ones to grow them and did really well with them. She's in Mountain Grove area. And she came up with the idea before any stores were buying them, and she dedicated one whole high tunnel to microgreens. And we were able to work out a lot of the problems with microgreens as we went. She's selling them to us, and then we were trying to figure out how to extend the shelf life a little bit because they were going bad before we could get them sold. Now when you see them everywhere, all those little problems have been worked out, I think, and it's made them a much more profitable crop. She was a pioneer who was kind of figuring out what the problems were. On this lady, just an example of one of many Missouri value-added producers, but she buys a lot of what's in her products because hers are like fruit and nut blends, but some of what's in there are her own dried fruits. Okay, this is my hard page. This is the page I had to agonize over. It's really hard to decide how you're gonna price things. But one thing you do not want to do is to walk into a buyer's office or call a buyer on the phone and not know what your price is. Too many times I had people say whatever you want to pay. Do not ever say that. Right, Adrian? In order to determine it, though, there really is kind of a formula you can use. You don't have to, but I think it's helpful. Now, one thing you can do is, and you're doing wholesale, so you want the terminal price as a starting point. It's just a starting point, though. I can't even read the yellow, but you'll have it in your the link. St. Louis has always had a terminal for like, I don't know, 100 or 200 years. And when I went on to get the link, it's not there anymore. It says, does anybody know what happened? It says that it's been suspended, the St. Louis terminal. So I went to Chicago, but does anybody know why the St. Louis terminal's been? This is really a big.
Was that recently?
Yeah, it was December 29th of 17.
Oh, because it was there in 2017.
It was all of 2017 it was.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's not. And that industry is so valuable to Missouri, that whole wholesale produce. We were one of the few terminals in the whole country, so I really, if anybody finds out, let me know. So Chicago can't be too far off from us, is what I thought. Of the few terminals there are in the country, that seemed like the most logical one to check the price. The price that you've determined is probably going to be higher than that terminal price. But so if you go into a buyer and they say, well, I can get it on the produce market for 20% or 50% less than you're quoting me, that's when you go into selling mode and you differentiate your product and you tell them why your product is better than the one they're talking about, which quite likely is imported. There's no way of knowing how it was grown. So you tell them whatever is good about your product, whether it's organic, or maybe you're using organic methods but it's not certified organic, but that still makes it a better product. You tell them about your farm. You tell them you're reliable and you'll keep bringing them, and you just kind of gradually beat that price up from terminal price. I don't think I know anybody who's selling at terminal. I think they're all at least a little bit above. And my own formula for determining your price, and if you can't do this, you really probably shouldn't sell the item because you wouldn't make any money. First, you've got to determine how much it costs you to grow, just to grow the crop. I'm not talking about packaging or anything like that at this point. So you have to keep good records. You have to know what you're doing. Okay, so once you figured out what it costs you to grow it, and if you pay others, be sure you include their labor in that. If you don't pay yourself a salary, you're going to add that in later because you don't want to add percentage to your own salary. Okay, so add a fair percentage of profit, and I said 20%, but I don't want anybody to say, she told us to add 20%. It can be a little bit less, I wouldn't do much less, or it could be more, and it could be significantly more if you have a good way of selling your product. Okay, then you add in your additional costs, like packaging and labeling, because again, you don't have to add percentage to those, you just want to cover the cost of those. And you want to cover your labor, however you're going to value your own labor, so you're going to add that in after as well. Then you compare it to the terminal price. And then looking at the difference, because there's probably going to be a difference there, then you decide, well, what am I going to say? You know, I'm going to quote my price, and then they're going to say, sorry, no deal, and then you're going to say, but mine is better, and you're going to tell them the ways that it's better. If you're doing wholesale, you have to use standard packaging, and it has to be new packaging, it has to be clean. Make sure that you include that cost of the packaging in your price because it's very significant. You'll need a barcoding machine or a shared barcoding, and I just was really perked up when I heard there is a program in Missouri to help you barcode. Your box has to be marked according to the standards of the producer or the purchaser, and they quite likely are going to require traceability, which means on every box you need your farm name, and you need to have a system where you can determine which lot, which picking that was. All of these things. Oh, and then make sure it's packed uniformly. And you can look up online what the buyer will tell you. I've never seen a buyer that didn't tell them how they wanted it. Like, do they want it in bundles? Do they want it loose in a box with tomatoes or other round things? They want it packed neatly in the box. Lettuce, they want it packed neatly in the box. But some of the things they'll accept just like a loose box as long as it weighs a certain amount. So tell your story. I don't think anything's more important than this. Prepare, have pictures, have good pictures, and you can start by going to a buyer and saying, here's some pictures of my farm, because the buyer is who you're selling to. But if the buyer wants to sell your product, he's going to need some tools, or she is. If you just provide pictures to a store, a lot of them will make shelf toppers, or they might even, if they're good pictures, a little girl with the chicken. I'm so proud of her because she was made into a big poster that was hanging from ceilings to sell their eggs. So, you can just provide pictures, but you probably need to bring in brochures that you've had made up, just something that they can hand out to increase the sales of your product. Be sure and have a business card. They don't want to have to hunt for where they jotted down your number, and they don't want a little bitty piece of paper where they don't have to go and lose it, and they probably have a place where they save their business cards. Be sure and tell them, and I hope that you will be on social media, and if you are, be sure and tell them that you are, and even, ask if there's a way to link with them, or if you can do promotions together. Let them know that if they promote your product, you will back them up with information on social media. A lot of stores would like you to be available for demos, and some stores, it seems like, want you to be available all the time. So kind of have in mind how often you think that you can be available for demos. The picture on the left was our store during one of our demoing events. We never went under 25,000 in sales on those days, which was for us, that was our peak, 25,000. We never went over that on any day, other than our opening day, which was like 50. Never got that again, but there was never a demo day that we didn't hit 25,000, which could have been as much as 10,000 more than a typical day. So we wanted demos. We wanted people to come in and demo, and we wanted the same people, and we also wanted new people. We had regulars. We loved it when someone would just come in once because it was something new and different for our shoppers. So if they ask you to do demos, try and figure out a way you can. And if you don't have time, I know lots of farmers who hire people at pretty low prices, or maybe their kids, to go in and pass out demos. If you do choose your kids, be sure you train them though. I used my kids a lot, and I would catch them saying something, I would just go, oh no. So I had to do a training for my kids. They don't automatically know what to say. This is a St. Louis man who's done really well. He's in Colorado now, but he's always been really good with demos, and that was how he built his business, was pretty much strictly on demos and getting the attention of buyers. He's at a trade show in that picture. If you can do trade shows, that's where you find buyers. If you're able, if you're a farmer and it's just you or you and your spouse doing all the work, and you can't keep it looking really nice all the time, then you probably don't want to do a farm tour. But if you have a beautiful farm, you want people to see it, this is a buyer's tour that I was on, actually, where they took us all on a hayride around Todd Geisert's farm. And then the pièce de résistance was when they popped that little piggy into our wagon and let everybody hold it and play with it. Oh my goodness, I bet there wasn't anybody there who didn't buy his sport after that cute little piggy was rooting around in one lady's purse. I mean, we just absolutely fell in love with the piggy. Okay, I'm going to kind of skip ahead to show up. The message there is show up. If people are giving you an opportunity to sell your product, either be there or have somebody do it for you. Okay, if I've given you so many things to do and you feel like, well, I thought I wanted to do wholesale, but now I don't because it's just too expensive and it's too hard, then a food hub is a really good answer for you. And it's good news that we're going to have one in Kennett. The Kennett Economic Development is working hard and fast to get availability of a food house for all of our farmers, and Lincoln is working with them. And what it looks like in the concept now is that in each of our regions, because we have a lot of regions, we have a lot of counties, a lot of small towns, and wherever we have, for example, I'm working primarily in Ripley County where I live, and also Oregon and Carter, which are close by. We would have an aggregation point there where our farmers, or any farmers that wanted to participate, would bring their product just to that point, and then our truck would come and pick that up and bring it Then there's another middle point, which is a larger aggregation space, and that's what Kennedy Economic Development is going to provide around the area. Would be larger buildings with cooling, et cetera. And then they will do the marketing. They'll do all the marketing. And all the farmer has to do is deliver the produce and get a check. We had hoped that Jim Breeding would be here today to talk about that a little bit. I was going to give him part of my time if need be, and I got an email, I think early this morning. I think Richard got one a little earlier than that, but he can't make it. So I'm just giving you kind of the overview, but stay in touch. We will be getting that information out to you for sure. And then this is a, whoops, I didn't do that very well. This is a food hub that I formed a few years ago in the Ozarks. I assisted in forming it. They formed it themselves, but we gave them assistance. And one of them was the woman I showed you with the microgreens. What it required to get a group of farmers together was just some meetings and some like-mindedness and some structure. And there were issues that had to be worked out, and we did that among them, and it worked well. They were filling trucks up and sending them, getting checks. I just kind of compare here where you might be doing everything yourself. You might be laboring in the field and packaging and demoing, or you can join a food hub. So, for people who have one available, it's a great option. Just kind of for your entertainment, this was our CSA. We had a store, but that didn't keep us from going out to events and demoing ourselves. And this is St. Louis Earth Day, which usually gets about 30,000 people. Our business was called Farm to Family, and we had a CSA. So we educated people about our CSA right there, and that's really kind of a good way to do it. We showed them a sample box, and we talked to them, but if we were busy, we also had a sign that they could read. This is the braggadocio popcorn. I talked about the rice. They're doing popcorn, best rice and best popcorn I've ever eaten. USDA organic. He did that early on, and is very glad that he did. This is the distill. Actually, that's the guy cooking a hot dog, but that's the still. He's just joking around with the hot dog, but that's how they distill the herbal products. Just a reminder that you need the proper packaging. And this is also an example, good packaging, but also a state. This is a California label. This is a friend of mine's honey. But we have that available here too, the Missouri label. So it's a big help in selling it. Although with honey, I'm not sure you even need help. It's such demand. I want to cover CSAs. I'm getting close to running out of time. How many?
You're okay.
There's probably a lot to say depending on your interest about CSAs. I've got experience with 2 combined community CSA. Basically, it's more than one farm is what that amounts to. And sometimes a farm will do the combining. Quite often, there are several in the St. Louis area where the farmer has become an entrepreneur and said, bring your product, we'll vary our box, we can charge more this way. We won't just have produce, we'll have dairy and meat and honey and jam and jelly. And those are the CSAs that get the most customers. But first of all, let's make sure everybody know what one is, a CSA. Is there anybody who doesn't? Okay. One of the requirements, I believe, for success in a CSA is that you need to be near an urban area where you can get, it doesn't have to be a huge urban area, it could be Sikeston, it could be Cape Girardeau, but you need customers who aren't growing their own food and who have enough discretionary income that they see value in paying for a weekly box of food. What has kind of been discovered over the years as they've surveyed CSA owners and customers, people do seem to get tired, especially in the spring when it's kale and lettuce. and you get the complaints, we can't use everything that's in the box. Well, it's too similar, is why they can't use it, it's just all greens. So if you have other things like jam and jelly or honey or eggs are wonderful, they really help sell the CSA. Meats, if you don't have them, you can combine with a farmer who does have meat, or farmers who have meat. Make it a really good assortment, and then charge. I mean, you have to charge for that. But people are getting quite possibly their whole week's food in that box, so keep that in mind. So basically, in order to have a successful CSA, you need a customer base. You need to get the word out, and that doesn't seem to be real hard. A lot of people do it out of their farmers market booth with signs, or just word of mouth. And usually, they get quite a few customers in the first year, and if it's a good CSA, they get a whole lot more the next year. And we had 60 in ours in St. Louis, but I also consulted a few years ago with a CCSA in California that had literally thousands of customers and delivered all over LA. It was a huge, huge business. And theirs was strictly vegetables that the farmer co-op provided, and then they partnered with fruit farms. So the thing that they added to their box of greens in the early spring were fruits, and that really helped sell. Whereas maybe just the kale or just the lettuce and kale would not have sold. This was one of our boxes right there. You can see, that was before we hooked up with braggadocio, because that's Martin rice. And then it was organic produce. I think that's elderberry jelly. That's the apple, that ambrosia product I talked about. Some of those I can't quite make out, but you can see there was a lot of variety, and people loved our boxes. Giving an option, too, of either a large box or a half box or a small box, you can call it what you want and divide it where you want. But giving an option for a lower price box can really probably double your subscribership. And then we did shows, trade shows and so on, where we just showed examples of the boxes that they could get with brochures, and they could sign up right then and there. There is some assistance from, and I just basically went online and looked for CSA. And they're like groups of CSAs that provide you with signage. This was on our website, and they could go directly, to learn more, and then from learn more, they could sign up. That's ours there. This is the more generic CSA support group, I call it. And then this is the in-person going to the farmer's market promotion of the CSA. If you decide to do that, those are all good ways to spread the word. Am I done? About time for questions?
You can ask questions, and then we'll talk about the buyers.
Okay. Yeah, we broke this presentation up a little bit because I wanted to just give a strictly buyer's perspective for a few minutes. But before we go to that, if you have questions in your mind now, let's cover down on what we've already talked about.
Nancy, I think maybe a point that about CSAs that maybe wasn't as clear is the benefit of CSAs or CCSAs is that your customer is paying up front for that box. They're subscribing to the farm. So they're subscribing to your loss. If you have maybe drought loss or flood loss or, things Mother Nature likes to throw us curveballs all the time. So they're subscribing to that farm's loss. They're buying into your story a lot of times when you're doing the CSA. So that's one of the benefits. The farmer's getting that money up front.
You're right. I started to mention, I thought, well, everyone said they knew it, but you're right, probably they might not have known. I will say, though, that more and more I'm seeing CSAs that are not getting their money up front. They're getting it on Well, it's a choice. They get a big price break. The consumer gets a big price break by doing it up front, because the whole purpose of starting CSAs initially was to get that seed money to get started for the year. But so many people said they couldn't afford that, they began to offer options of quarterly or monthly or even per box. But the commitment has to be there, even if the money is not. You don't get to say, I'll be in a CSA when I want to. You have to be in it every week, and we even told them when they're on vacation, that they may not be there to get it, but they need to send a friend or somebody to get it, because we're gonna make that box up. We're not gonna keep track of everybody's vacation. So the commitment for sure is upfront and continuing. And that a lot of people decide not to do it after the first year because they can't really manage their schedule and their lives around that. But we grew each year, and most CSAs do. So you may lose some. The attrition rate, I think, is under, you lose less than 25% usually, and you can gain 50 or 100%. So it's still a good deal. But again, you've got to be where you can sell it. So it's definitely not for everyone. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we should have said about CSAs first.
Any other questions?
Anybody have any questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, as minority farmers, do you advise us to focus on wholesale or retail? Which one would be more?
Well, I would just say whichever, just the same that I'm saying to everybody in the room. You just make your decisions based on what you want to do and can do. You would have an additional marketing little boost, I think, if you are marketing your story as a minority farmer. Either way, whether it's retail or wholesale, I would put it in the story, that for people to support you. I think that would be a good thing. But really, whichever way, whatever space you have, whatever time you have, whether you like meeting people directly, whether you feel confident in getting all your certifications and working with buyers, it's the same decision. Adrian, did you?
In order to get the CNG, does your gap have to be complete?
Say that again.
The CNG, the certified naturally grown.
Right. Does
your gap have to be complete?
The last time I was involved with it, it did not. Basically, the farmer, they're your peers, and it might be different from organization to organization, but they would just come out, and the main things they're ensuring are that you're really growing the produce and that your practices are good. And I'm guessing that Certified Naturally Grown says they're stricter. I know they used to say they're stricter than GAP anyway. They want your practice to be good, but they'll certify you based on your practices. So which would be your safety and the way that you're growing. They're not organic, but they do like organic methods, which makes it good for someone like you who's faithfully using organic methods and doesn't want to pay the extra money. But as far as your GAP, not the last I heard. They saw themselves as a substitute for GAP, basically. Anybody else?
GAP is usually buyer-driven, so I doubt Certified Naturally Grown is the lead.
Right, yeah. And I think it would vary from buyer to buyer whether they would accept Certified Naturally Grown as similar to GAP. Whole Foods has always been such a great buyer of the products and the people I know. And with the change now with Amazon buying them out, I sat in on a 2-hour conference call this week, and that they're making changes that I would say look twice before there are a lot of changes in terms of the main ones that are hurting farmers I know are they're willing to pay a premium for organic, and they'd like everything in the store to be organic, but they're kind of narrowing their selection of things, and they're definitely trying to drive the prices down. I'm hearing that from everyone. So, and yet I think they're still going to be charging the same high prices, but they're trying to pay the farmer less. So there's a lot less partnership with farmers. It's becoming very profit driven. But it's a huge loss, because I'm very focused myself on what do you have to do to get into Whole Foods, because so many of my farmers have been for years, and that's grown, and they go local to regional to national, but it's changing. So I would say if you're thinking Whole Foods, just kind of keep an eye on where they're going. And talk to a buyer, they'll always talk to you. One thing about Whole Foods buyers have always been good about talking and telling farmers what they need. Anything else? We're kind of doing the buyer's perspective as we go, so we can call this the buyer's perspective. I can give you my perspective as a buyer. The things that I saw, we were always really happy to help people become retail ready. But one thing that I could never deal with, and I wasn't even one of these busy buyers with a phone on each ear, but when people came in without knowing what their price was, I didn't even want to talk to them. If they said, whatever you want to pay, I didn't want to do that math in my head. I didn't know what their costs were. I didn't want to shoot them a price that would hurt them. On the other hand, if they were going to give me a lower price, I didn't want to highball the offer either. So be prepared when you go in or call to talk to a buyer. In big business, they call it the elevator pitch, but have a very short pitch of whatever it is you're selling that includes the price and the quality, something about yourself, your ability to deliver on time, and whether or not this is a one-time thing, or you could bring them tomatoes for months because you got high tunnels. All of that you need to be able to get out quickly and with a lot of confidence. You need to act professional. You don't have to dress up in a suit or anything. Farmer clothes are great because they perceive a farmer when they see that. But just act professional, like you know what you're doing and you're prepared. Even if it's your first time, you can do that. You can seem prepared. You can seem professional. So that would be the main thing, but other things, if someone, and this happened a lot, where people would call and make an appointment and not show up, I typically did not talk to that person again because they weren't respecting my time, and that would probably get worse as time went on. And then making a deal and not delivering is usually a good way to not get called again. The worst one I can ever remember was a guy who called and sold me a whole high tunnel full of lettuce, and we agreed to buy it, and we made space for it, and he was on his way to St. Louis and called from Farmington and said, I didn't know how far St. Louis is, I'm going to turn around, I've got an appointment this afternoon. Needless to say, we didn't ever deal with him again. You really, once you decide to go wholesale, you really have to make it your priority to do what you said you would do and deliver that product. And the benefit of that is that you're going to have an ongoing source of income. If you're delivering, if you're keeping that buyer happy, and it's really not that hard to do, just act professional and price it right and deliver it. It can go on for years and years regularly, and it can be everything you produce, and you don't even have to do farmers markets anymore if you don't want to. Anything else? Okay.
Okay, it's just about lunchtime, but before we break for lunch, Does anyone have any questions for the presenters from this morning? I know some of them are hanging around for the day and some of them are leaving. So if you have any questions for follow-up before they head out, now's the time. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Or actually don't. Just reach out via email or phone call or anything. We're always here. That's why our contact's in the folder. We'd love to work with you. So.